BlizzCon just happened today, first day, and already everyone's mind is blown with what just happened. The new X-Pack for World of Warcraft, the vanilla, oh my gosh, the vanilla classic server that's coming out. I was blown away that he got up on stage and, you know, I was like, okay, he's going to talk about the WoW X-Pack. And then he said, before we have it, you know, the big news, we're going to have to tell you something. And I was like, I have no idea. I had no idea. Going into BlizzCon, I had no idea that vanilla servers were even on the table. What I had heard previously was that vanilla servers were not going to be done. And if they were going to be done, it was going to be in a very kind of not vanilla way. They were going to make it using existing, existing systems and all that stuff. It wouldn't be the full experience, and it would just be babied along back when the owners of the private servers were invited to BlizzCon and there was some deal being struck out or what have you. Ever since then, I thought, you know what, Blizzard's really just not, they're just not going to do it. They're just going to stay with new stuff. They're going to keep moving forward. And now my initial reaction is, holy shit, I'm blown away, amazed that they're doing it. They didn't give any commitments. They didn't give any timelines. They didn't tell exactly how it's going to happen. They didn't give any of that. But they said in the opening ceremony they're going to do it. And I was blown away. Not only at that, the cinematic they showed was epic, rolling back in reverse from Legion all the way back to vanilla and using that original cinematic. Think about that. That is the original cinematic used for vanilla. That is insanity. That was so incredible. So my reaction to this is just, it's finally coming. And for all the people that are sick of those crazy private servers you have to download using a certain browser, certain email, all that stuff, all the setup, and all the corruption there, you're getting a legit server. It might not be everything, might not be 100%, but it's going to be brought out by Blizzard, so there's going to be no corruption. It's going to be, it's going to be a real world, real scale system and supported by everything. So everyone's going to be there. You're not going to have tens of thousands of players. You're going to have millions of players. Do you know how many people are going to come play that? It's such one of the reasons I'm so excited is because it's not only is it giving the players what they're asking for and making this private server market kind of it's going to kill it. It's going to get rid of all that corruption, get rid of all that money that's going in those dark corners. And it's bringing forward this new way that people are going to be able to get that old experience. People are going to come back for that. The population of that server will be huge, and I would assume it's going to be people that haven't picked up the game for a long while, multiple X-Pack break. You're going to have a surge of population that are going to come back just for that. That was an entirely different game. We're talking 10 years plus, 11 years ago? So that in itself is a awesome reason. It's going to bolster our community with people that have been playing for a long time. There's a lot of unknowns right now, given that they haven't said how the server is going to work. Is it going to be in parallel? Is it going to be a different client? Is it going to be, how is it going to work with how things are done right now? It also isn't clear what types of modifications that Blizzard's planning to do to it. Like, is it going to be the old interface? Is it going to be the new interface? Is it going to be, the old add-on setups are only going to be viable, or are they going to refresh it so you can have current add-on setups? A lot of stuff there is unknown, but we will, I'm sure, learn as time goes on. My biggest question is when? When is the biggest question? It sounds like they have been working on this. Sounds like they have not been kind of putting their head under the sand with all these private servers going crazy. But there's a lot of questions I have that I'm not going to get answered. But what do you all, I want to know what you all think before I go any further. I want to know are you guys excited? Do you not care? Do you think it's going to be a bad thing? Do you prefer the private servers? Tell me in the comments below. Let's get a discussion going. I'm planning a night on Discord to all talk about this and just have a stream where we all just chit chat about it and have the chat get involved. So appreciate that. Now, just a little bit more, I want everyone here to know that we have already made a decision. The Tiqqle community in the Discord was freaking out when this happened. Everyone's spamming chat. For the vanilla classic World of Warcraft Blizzard server, we will be there. And when I say we, I mean the entire Tiqqle community. We will have a guild. We will be there. It's going to be Horde. So if you're interested in getting involved in that at the beginning, we are already starting to plan out how that's going to go down. We're not all going to be shaman, okay? Because that's ridiculous. But most of us probably will be. So if you guys are interested in getting involved in that and you want a spot in that guild, please send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. I'll give you the Discord link and you can join us as we're planning for that server. Obviously, if it comes out in a year, we have some time to plan. If it comes out in 6 months, we have, less time, but still time. So I would say if you're interested in getting involved, let me know via those channels and we'll get you plugged in. You will have a family walking around at level 1. We're going to have a shitload of shaman just running around. It's going to be incredible. We're all really excited. And this is what a lot of people, a lot of my personal friends have been looking for too. They went through the ups and downs of the recent private server drama, which is just, every private server is going to have collusion and corruption. It's just the way of the world. But now we're getting to the real deal. So I'm super excited. I don't know what class I'm going to play. Obviously, I'll probably start with Shaman, but there's so many things people don't even think about. People that didn't play back then either. Like, I barely played vanilla, but even, talking to my friends, like, there's so many things Shaman didn't even have back then. It's not even the same class. So there's a lot of things I got to do on that and what I'm going to roll to. I'm sure there's going to be a billion hunters and rogues because there always is, but we'll see what I want to play. Maybe I'll do a healer. And everyone will die if I do that. So we'll see. There's a lot of excitement in the Tiqqle community. Online, I'm seeing a lot of movement. We're all just super pumped. This is awesome. So when we go, so that's that. When we go into like what I see as the good and the bad of this. So from a good, well, I wouldn't say bad, but from a rough side. From the good side, I'm super excited. I had so much fun in the world with world PvP, how that whole, level scaling system, it wasn't so heavy on the end game, in terms of being able to fight and have a good time. You didn't have to get to 60 to 100% have a great time. In Hillsbrad, everybody knows Hillsbrad. Come on. There's skeletons there for decades. I used to be there on my warlock. My friend was on his druid. We would just be running around. We would be there for hours just PvP, and we wouldn't even be leveling. That's what's going to come back, and that's what people are, I'm really hoping, get into it. Because that's exactly being out there in the world, not in a rush, not going to instance, having to move around. I'm really, really excited. Obviously, people are already doing this. People are already on the private servers. You already have the streamers. You already have the people there. But this is going to be the real deal at scale. It's going to be incredible. I'm really excited. Another good thing, I think, is going to be I already said, the amount of people that are going to come back, the reinvigoration of the community. I'm hoping that a lot of people do come back, even if a little, semi-casually, because I'm hoping that we get those players back in the conversation of World of Warcraft. We are now at such a gap of time between the players that are playing now in high school and the people that were playing vanilla in high school. Like, that is a generation. So I'm really excited for them to kind of come into the fold and see what happens with the whole overall community. Because I'm assuming even the people that are playing now and are going to be playing the new X-Pack, they will be in those vanilla servers at least a little bit. So another good thing, being able to go back and have people doing the raid content that's quote-unquote hard in the hard ways while other raid content's going on in retail, a live WoW. I'm really excited to see how that's different, because everyone, and how people can say now, like, oh, you remember how it was back in vanilla? It was so much harder than it is now. Well, hey, now guess what? Get out of the raid, go over to the, log out, switch servers, and go raid with them. Now you have, that conversation's kind of over, because that's going to be kind of re-brought up, given, assuming they're not going to make huge PvE changes. So that's going to be awesome too. Not only that, but I personally never got to experience the full vanilla one, so I'm so excited to go through the end-to-end, the very beginning, when nothing is set up, no one has patterns, no one has nothing, and going from that to a raid. I could have done that with the launch of the private service, but again, I was kind of sketched out by it. I didn't want to go through that whole process of, setting this thing up and then it goes down a week later, or I, give them my credit card or anything like that. Didn't want to deal with. I know you don't have to give credit cards, but I'm just saying it didn't feel right. So this is a way that we can kind of play and get the experience all together, starting fresh again. Even the people that are on those vanilla private servers, they're going to have to come. Like, why wouldn't they? I know they've invested so much time, energy, effort, but to be honest, this is the real deal. You're not going to get shut down. You're going to have a great, it's going to be with a ton more people, and you're expanding things in a huge sense. So I'm super excited. So those are kind of my good notes. I'm just spitballing because I'm just getting off of like catching up with everything that's going on after BlizzCon and the PvP events and all that stuff. What I think is going to be rough for them, I think it's going to be rough for them if they change things. That's going to be a huge salty point for most people that are on the vanilla servers now, or already in that raw experience. If Blizzard does some of the things they were talking about with using some of the existing frameworks, existing setups to, in like, you know, maybe it's a UI thing, maybe it's memory, maybe it's login screen, whatever it is, if it's different than the authentic, then I think they're going to run into a ton of salty people, which is okay. I mean, they're going to have to do what they have to do. And Blizzard, you know, we all know Blizzard's going to do what Blizzard wants to do, and then we're going to have to deal with it. And we can complain all we want, but that's what we're going to get. So I'm really hopeful that they stay pretty authentic. I don't even know the true definition of authentic, to be honest, because I didn't even play back then, but I'm hoping that it does. And I'm hoping that the community gets behind Blizzard and supports them with the route that they're going, because they are listening. They are going to set this thing up, and we're going to have a place to kind of run around Ironforge even more than we did in BC and Wrath. So what else is going to be rough? I think it's going to be rough for the populations to balance the playtime between retail and between vanilla. So I'm super excited that the Tiqqle community is going to vanilla. Not permanently, by the way. We're just going to have a guild there along with on retail. But what I'm worried about is that, you know, the vanilla is more of a grind. So how are people going to balance their time between being in retail, PvPing, you know, grinding, you know, quests, reps, doing the new X-Pack, and then also balancing almost another game. It is another game, which is, you know, in the vanilla servers, leveling up, getting gear, getting, you know, all the stuff that you have to do back then, because I don't know. I think it could put a stress on people to like do so much in Warcraft. So I think people, I'm assuming that the way it's probably going to work for a lot of people is that they're going to get their retail character. Either they're going to play one or the other, or if they play both, they're going to get their retail character up to a certain point and comfortable. And then they're going to, if they're casual, then they're going to stop. Only log in once in a while to do whatever the periodic stuff is. And maybe Blizzard will design it in a way that there won't be as many world quests, or they refresh less frequently so that people can use the other play, you know, can switch over easier. But otherwise, they're going to get that to a good place. If their friends aren't on or their guild people aren't doing anything, they're going to pop over to vanilla and they're going to just, you know, progress on the slow grind. I think that's probably how I'm going to play it, so I'm assuming others are going to do it that way. I know some people are going to go super ham on probably both, and I'm worried a little bit about burnout with that, because I know some people even now in retail, they have tons of alts. They keep them all up to speed. They keep them all leveled. They push arena on all of them. They do a lot of different stuff, just kind of pushing and grinding, and so now they're going to have to do that and do vanilla, or they're going to feel like they're missing out or left out. I'm a little nervous about how people are going to react to that, but that's probably my biggest concern. But otherwise, you know, the little things I noted, that's about it. I think it's going to be a great experience. I don't really think there's a downside to doing this other than the split time people are going to apply. But again, we are super excited as the Tiqqle community. We're going to probably do what we do on retail, which is not super be hardcore. We're more about just like derping around and having fun with each other when we can and when everyone's around. So that's that. But yeah, so that kind of goes over my overall response to this whole announcement, which totally blew me away. I did not see this coming. What the Tiqqle community is up to, what our plans are, and then my thoughts of this whole release and the good and the bad. So I'm going to have another set of videos talking about the other video, the cinematic that came out. I should have recorded it, just like Dollar Gaming. His reaction was fantastic. I wish I had done that, because I was freaking out in the Discord with the Ticklers, and I was just freaking out the whole time of the cinematic. So a lot of awesome stuff is coming. I'm so excited. I've never been so excited to play World of Warcraft and do all the World of Warcraft things, even more than Legion. Legion was great. The story's awesome. Illidan's here. I love that dude. He's a nice guy. And but I'm not like this. For some reason, going back home and getting the Alliance and Horde uppity, showing that that cinematic of the sieges and the kind of huge combat, I'm really pumped. So everybody, that's my reaction to this awesome news. Super exciting. There's probably going to be even more excitement coming up when we go into, I haven't even seen the panel for Warcraft yet, but I am super amped, and we're going to be having a stream to talk about this with all of you. So please be on the lookout for that. We'll be sending out posts about that, and I will be seeing you guys in the next video. You let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this. This is pretty huge news. It's pretty much going to merge the population of private server wowers into a retail WoW, which is pretty massive population at this point, especially if they somehow do it free to play. So please let me know what you think in the bottom. Let me know what your biggest question is about this whole thing, what you're wondering about the most, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.